I'm currently sat in the very spot where 6 years and a few weeks ago to the day, I had a full-scale nervous breakdown where I told my wife I didn't want to be here anymore and where I'd given up. I'd given up all hope of being able to ever continue with life. And it's on that day that when my parents asked what I needed, I told them I need to know if it's ADHD. Last night when I was talking on the Andrew Marr show briefly, I felt really quite emotional. And I felt like it was a real pivotal moment for me to be on a platform like that, trying to help others understand that there's not an overdiagnosis problem with ADHD, because I was grateful to be there to be able to do that. And here's the interesting thing. It is exactly 6 years and 1 day to the day that I received my official ADHD diagnosis letter. Now, I'll always be grateful to Dr. Mitu Singh from Oak Tree Clinic for the way she guided me through my assessment and diagnosis process. But I can honestly say, even then, I wasn't sure if there would be 6 more years on the horizon. If you are currently at the start of your diagnosis or your assessment process, particularly if you're, like I was, well over 40 years old when you're doing that, it's okay for it to mean a lot. It's okay for it to feel like an awful lot to process, because it is. But my only advice to all of you is the same thing I will say every day. You don't need to understand what ADHD is anymore. You need to understand what it means to you. Those 4 letters, ADHD, they do not define who you are, but they do help you understand why you may have experienced some of the things you have in your life. But the only person that gets to define who you are, that's you now. I'm incredibly grateful that I'm sat on this sofa being able to speak to you and record this today, because understanding what ADHD means to me is the reason I'm able to do that. I've had immense support and care and love from my wife and my children and my parents, and I'm incredibly grateful for the wonderful friends and colleagues that I've built up in the past 5 years of talking about this professionally. But if you're at the start and you don't know what tomorrow might feel like, don't worry. It's okay, and you will figure out who you are again soon.